It's finally been released, the US 2021 defense budget, and there are a lot of interesting items and changes, to say the least. The total budget request is higher than the previous year, up to $740 billion, but the actual amount going to the Pentagon is down, from $713 to $705 for 2021. This is the first time under President Trump that there has been a decrease in the budget actually going to the Pentagon. There are also some pretty major changes. But first, this episode's sponsor, Keeps. It's something most of us would rather not think about, hair loss. Unfortunately, my dad's side of the family has this problem, so it seems almost inevitable for me. 2 out of every 3 guys will experience some form of male pattern baldness by the time they are 35. Keeps has revolutionized the way men are treated for hair loss. You used to have to go into a doctor's office, get a prescription, and then go fill it. With Keeps, you can do so online and have medication delivered directly to your home. Keeps treatments are up to 90% effective at reducing and stopping further hair loss. So if you don't want to be one of those 2 out of 3 with hair loss, prevention is key. The sooner you start, the more hair you'll save. And you don't have to go broke avoiding hair loss. It's more affordable than you might think. If you're ready to take action and prevent hair loss, go to keeps.com/covercabal or click the link in the description to receive 50% off your first order. That's keeps.com/covercabal. The 2021 defense budget requested by President Trump is just that, a request. It has to be approved by Congress, and can, and usually has, been negotiated and adjusted before being passed. So that's one thing to keep in mind. But as I like to do in my videos, we will mostly be focusing on different weapon systems being procured. If you'd like to take a look for yourself, I put a link down in the video description. First, right off the bat, aircraft and related systems, ground-based platforms such as tanks, artillery, tactical vehicles, etc., shipbuilding, and procurement of bombs and missiles have all seen a decrease in funding over the previous year. 2021 will see 19 less F-35s over 2020. Less than half as many C-130s will be produced. 0 Predator, Reaper, or Global Hawk drones will be procured. Another 24 Super Hornets, which is the same rate as the last few years. Over $2.8 billion toward development of the B-21. 15 new KC-46 tankers. And 12 of the new F-15EX fighters, to name a few. This one is interesting. The 2020 budget provided funding to build 8 of these. It's a restart of the F-15 program, designed with 5th generation sensors, upgraded engines, and more. As far as land vehicles, nearly half as many upgraded and modified M1 Abrams tanks, 1/4 the number of AMPVs, or armored multi-purpose vehicles, less medium and heavy tactical vehicles, and 154 Stryker armored vehicles, an increase of 11 over the previous year. As for missile defense, no new GBIs, which are designed to shoot down long-range ballistic missiles, but 41 THAAD interceptors and 168 Patriot PAC-3 interceptor missiles. As for shipbuilding, there's another $2.3 billion toward construction of future Ford-class aircraft carriers, and $4 billion for the first Columbia-class ballistic missile submarine. These boats will replace the Ohio-class, which first began construction 45 years earlier. Only 1 Virginia-class submarine will be built, down from 2 per year, which has been the rate for the last decade, and 2 Arleigh Burke-class destroyers, down from 3 previously. So big cuts to shipbuilding in the new budget. As for bombs and missiles, one noteworthy item here is the LRASM. More than 3 times as many will be purchased over the previous year, for a total of 53, although the 2020 number was lower than normal, only 17. The original 2020 budget requested 48. The LRASM is an extremely smart, stealthy, air-launched anti-ship missile designed to replace the Harpoon. The LRASM is based on JASSM, another stealthy cruise missile which the US plans on purchasing 400 of. Most of these will be the JASSM-ER, which doubles the range over the original 250-mile range JASSM. The US is also beginning production of the JASSM-XR, or AGM-158D, which again doubles the range over the previous JASSM-ER, placing its range over 1,000 miles. That is incredible. And reportedly, all this is being done with an improved engine, sensors, and electronics, all while remaining the same physical shape and size, and no reduction to the warhead. They've also more than doubled the number of Tomahawk cruise missiles being produced, from 90 to 203. Other items include 600 Sidewinders, over 700 AMRAAMs, another 125 SM-6 missiles, 1,500 Stormbreakers, or SDB-2 glide bombs, and 2,500 of the original SDB, 8,150 Hellfire missiles, over 2,000 JDAMs, and 7,360 guided multiple launch rocket system missiles. As for nuclear armed missiles, the budget includes nearly $1.2 billion for modifications and upgrades to the Trident II submarine launched ballistic missile, another $500 million for the LRSO, which is designed to replace the ALCM, and just over $1.5 billion toward developing a replacement missile for the Minuteman III ICBM, tentatively called the Ground-Based Strategic Deterrent. All three of these existing platforms are relatively old and needing to be replaced. The Trident II became operational in 1990 and needs updating. The ALCM entered into service in 1982 and meant to only have a service life of 10 years. It was built more as a stopgap until newer missiles could be made. With the Cold War ending and budgets being cut, it was decided to keep it in service and decommission the more expensive, newer, stealthy ACM. So the missile, originally designed only to last 10 years, has now been in service for nearly 40 years, and they are reaching the end of their life. Then the Minuteman. The Minuteman III became operational even earlier, in 1970. Again, with budget cuts and the ending of the Cold War, the newer, more expensive ICBM, the Peacekeeper, was decommissioned, leaving the older Minuteman as the sole ground-based ICBM. The GBSD will become operational in 2027. One major area the 2021 budget request has increased is in research, development, testing, and evaluation. $107 billion is stated for 2021. This includes hypersonic technology, advanced communications, artificial intelligence, and autonomy. This is a pretty big increase over the previous year. Also, the brand new Space Force is finally getting its own budget, albeit significantly smaller than the long-established other branches. Its budget, $15.4 billion, most of which is going toward funding launch vehicles like the Falcon 9 and Delta Heavy, 2 GPS satellites, and the space-based Overhead Persistent Infrared System, which will be a series of satellites to detect missile launches. These budget items were normally listed under the Air Force budget, but have been moved to the Space Force so that they have something to do. The budget also cuts over $350 million for operations in Iraq and Syria, and nearly $200 million from operations in Afghanistan. While looking through budget documents, you'll come across programs with obscure names, things like Chalk Coral, Retract Maple, Link Plumeria, and many more. These are special access programs, often referred to as part of the black budget. Highly classified programs which virtually every detail is kept secret. Many of these line items have seen major increases over the previous year. Chalk Coral has increased by over $200 million, bringing it up to $550 million in 2021. Retract Maple is up nearly $100 million, and Link Plumeria increased by $140 million. Others like Pilot Fish, Retract Larch, Retract Juniper, and Chalk Eagle have also been increased by substantial amounts. These are all US Navy research and development programs. We don't know what they are, but there have been many rumors and revelations about programs such as advanced UUVs, lasers on board ships and even submarines, and many more. So these large increases are definitely noteworthy. So this is just a few of the many programs in the new budget. If you're interested, I strongly recommend taking a look for yourself. It's a lot of fun to look through. You can see what is being built and how much these things cost. I'll include some links in the description.